Hi, for those that don't know me, I'm Virginia Walton. I'm an executive burnout coach, helping women in risk management roles manage their own risk of burnout so they can continue to thrive and succeed both in terms of their professional goals and their personal goals. So, prior to starting my coaching practice, I spent 24 years in the banking and finance industry, most of my roles in various forms of risk management. I worked my way from teller as a small community bank to senior vice president of a uh, of a $27 billion bank. And now I look to share what I've learned because I have to admit, I didn't always do it the easiest way. I learned some lessons the hard way with other women in risk roles to help them continue to thrive and excel and do it a little smarter and a little easier than I did. So that's why today's topic, 3 major mistakes women in risk management continue to make. So, the first one, no surprise, we keep pushing and trying to do one more thing. And we think, we can keep going without taking that proper rest and disconnecting and recharging ourselves. And maybe you can do that for a very short window of time. Maybe, if you've got a project deadline in a couple days and it's that last minute crunch, yes, you can do that, right? Our bodies are built with fight or flight, right? And so that stress of a deadline, our basic instincts, just like the stress of a lion, kicks in. But we're not built to live that way, right? We've evolved as a society. We no longer have to worry about large animals attacking us that we need to flee from. So, but our biology is the same, and we have those stress reactions to those pending deadlines or other stressors, but we just let them extend and extend and extend much longer than that lion scenario would have. And that's not healthy. It's not sustainable. And if you're like, Virginia, I've been doing it for years. yeah, it's not a good thing. At some point, it will catch up with you. Trust me, I've been there. I know this. You will crash. Personally, actually, one time it was in my car. Yeah, I fell asleep on the way to work because I was pushing and juggling not only things with work, I had a construction project renovation going on in my home and just too much happening. And sure enough, my body said, we need rest. Unfortunately, it was on the interstate and I hit the car in front of me. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. So hopefully you haven't done that. Or if you're like, I've had a couple of close calls. I've done oh my God, what happened? Yeah, maybe it was in a meeting. Hopefully not great, better than in traffic. And in my corporate days, I would do it. I would push and push. And, the weeks got longer, the days got longer. Friday nights would come and my colleagues would be, hey, have a good weekend, Virginia. And next thing I knew, the lights were going off because I was the only one left in the office and there wasn't enough motion to keep the lights on. And eventually it would catch up with me. And there I would be one morning in bed trying to one-eye change my out of office and cancel or reschedule all my meetings because my body was like, no, we're done. We are shutting down. You're not listening. You're not taking care of us. So just like when your phone gets down and you get that 10% warning and you're like, I can go a little bit longer. I got 10%. And then you look and boom, that 10% is gone and it is shut down and you're scrambling for a charger. And it's not turning right back on because you let it run too low. Same will happen with your body. And even when it's you requiring that time to shut down, disconnect, recharge. How you do that is different for you, right? I usually take Saturdays as my day to kind of end the prior week and set up for the upcoming week because I have church commitments Sunday morning, so I don't really have that kind of downtime Sunday morning. So it's my day to do food prep and laundry and plan out my week and kind of all that stuff, and I try to avoid my laptop. to give myself that mental break. Well, because of commitments with my religious education program where I volunteer at my church this month, 3 of my Saturdays were gone. And don't get me wrong, I love being part of that program and I love serving the kids and it feeds me, but it disrupted my routine. I didn't get that day a week to kind of put last week behind and get ready for this week. So here we were last weekend. This past weekend was Memorial Day. I had that Saturday to finally kind of catch up. But there was other stressors going on this month that I had to deal with, and that's life, right? None of us can well plan that. And here's what happened. I finally had that extra day. Mondays, I kind of prep for my week and get my work stuff in order, my content, my events out, so forth. My body said, we're done. And Sunday night, I came home and was sick. You may even notice if you watch my other videos that I sound a little bit more nasally than normal, right? My body's like, you haven't given us that time. We're taking it. We're shutting you down. And I slept for over 16 hours on Monday. And when you have a jammed schedule and you lose an entire day because your body's like, screw you. We're taking the charge and the rest we need that you've not been giving us. Now you're even more behind, right? Counterproductive. So you can't just, I'll just power through. I'll power through for a very short window, but not for an extended period of time. It catches up with you. And if you're like, oh, that never happens, I want you to start taking notice about how you feel. How quickly are your thoughts coming to you? How quickly and accurately is your work? Do you find yourself going back and saying, oh, I missed that. Oh, I didn't think of that, and I should have. Yeah, because you're not firing at optimal capacity, efficiency, right? Operational risk. You look for the process slowdowns. And if you're not taking care of yourself, it's you. Sorry, but it is. So even if you're thinking, no, that doesn't apply, start taking notice. You might be surprised. Mistake number 2, you don't use your awesome super risk management powers. Now, I'm sure none of you have a cape behind you with a big RM on it for risk mitigator, but you probably should. As professionals in risk management roles, you spend more waking hours than most people looking for potential hazards, risks, inefficiencies, people risk, process risk, systems risk, right? Reputational risk. You're worrying about it, all of those, and looking to make sure you're mitigating them. There's always going to be a risk. We know that. We're risk people. The idea isn't to eliminate it, it's to minimize it. Find that risk-reward balance, right? You do it all day for your employer, for your team, for your organization, right? But when you get home, you're probably leaving that cape in the car. You're not doing it for yourself. Think about it. If you're running on empty, if you're tired and exhausted and overwhelmed all the time, are you producing your best quality work? Maybe not. When you're tired and overwhelmed, do you get a little snippy? Maybe you're a little short patient with people that you normally wouldn't be. Maybe you even do it and you don't even like yourself when you do it. You snap at somebody. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm tired. I didn't mean to do that, right? Sound familiar? Yeah, been there, done that, right? And it's not intentional. It's because of the state you're in, right? See mistake number 1? See how it's impacting number 2? Here's the thing. When you're not producing your best quality, you're more prone to make mistakes, miss things that can have consequences. If you're snippy or short and impatient with your colleagues or your team or others, these things are going to have another risk. Now you're potentially creating financial risk. Yeah, because if your work and your work relationships aren't optimal, now you're at risk for not getting the bonus payout you wanted or expected, maybe raises not ideal, missed opportunities for advancement. Guess what? If you continue in that state for too long, now it's your brand, your reputational risk. You see? You look out for these for the company, for your function, but you're not looking out for them for yourselves. If there was feedback like that coming back about a process or a team, you'd be all over mitigating it. But we forget that we need to do that for ourselves, right? So use these awesome skills that you hone day in and day out for the benefit of others, for your own benefit, right? Third mistake, you don't prioritize yourself, right? These kind of all tie together if you haven't picked up on it yet. And I get that, particularly as women, we want to take care of everybody and we put everybody's needs first. Now, I'm not talking about, oh, make sure you've got a massage on your calendar once a month or twice a month you go get a pedicure. Great if that is what recharges and rejuvenates you. But if you're sitting there getting your toes done and you're checking work email, scheduling family events, responding to other, community or involvement activities that you do, that's not disconnecting. That's multitasking, which I've said is not good, right? So, hey, it's summer, it's sandal season. I'm not saying don't get your pedicure. Nobody wants to look at gnarly toes. I know I don't. Frankly, I think men should get some too, but whatever. My point is, you need to make sure that you are recharging and disconnecting for yourself. It is not selfish, okay? Go back to mistakes 1 and 2. If you're not taking care of yourself, you got nothing to give. Or what you give is half-assed, ladies. I'm sorry, but it is. So make yourself a priority, whatever it is. I'm in New Jersey, right? May is when we plant, May and early June. If playing in the dirt makes you feel well because you know what? Your phone's inside because you can't keep it on you. Going for a walk, a hike, sitting by the pool, the beach, the river with a book. Whatever refuels you, make sure that's on your calendar. But that you're giving you the time you need to step away from all the obligations, step away from all the demands that you did. It doesn't have to be a lot, but you got to do it regularly. Otherwise, your body's going to say, enough, we're shutting down. The quality of your work is going to suffer because you're going to be tired, run down, you're going to miss stuff, you're going to be snippy with people, right? So even your superpower risk mitigator skills that you use all day, they're going to be a little dull. They're not going to be as sharp as you want them to be, right? You have this great set of skills. Use it for yourself because in the end, the better you are, the more well-rested, the more productive you'll be, the better quality ideas. You'll find things with greater ease. Your people relationships will be better. It all goes together, right? So please start mitigating your own risk. Look for the trends. Look for what drains you. Look for what feeds you. If you notice every time you interact with one person that you're just exhausted afterwards, okay, can you minimize how often you have to interact with them? Can you delegate that? Can you change it so that you're interacting with them when your energy is really high? So even though it brings you down, you're still in a good spot. Look for the trends. Look for where you see the weaknesses. And then put in the mitigation plans. You know all this. Just apply it to you as a person instead of in your professional life. It'll make a world of difference. So if you're like, yeah, I know where all those weaknesses are, but Virginia, I don't know how to mitigate those. It's different than fixing a process at work. It's a lot harder. You're right. I get it. And I'm here to help. So if you say, yes, this makes sense, but I'm not sure how to make that first step and how to start mitigating my own risk, or I'm not sure what it is that will actually recharge me, everything I do just drains me, I'm here to help. So let's connect. Drop me a message or a comment. Check out my website, virginiawalton.com, and I will help you find what your risk mitigation plan is and get you back on that path to be wearing that cape all day with pride, right? So with that, thank you for your time. Be well. Remember, virginiawalton.com for more videos and articles on topics like this. Let's talk soon. Be well.